Kick it!
What's up, everybody? You're listening to the Alaskan Grappler podcast. I'm your host, Dennis Ockman. It's been a while since we've had a podcast. I've had this thing recorded for about a month, but life gets busy, so it is what it is. On today's show, we talk to Wesley Bockert Jr., a.k.a. Buddy Bockert, and his little brother, Jeremy Bockert. We talk about what life is like with their dad as the head coach, what it's like to have a dad as dedicated as Wes is as a coach. We talk about their difference in style, their pre-match routines, what is their go-to for after weigh-ins to eat and drink, what each think it takes to achieve success. They both achieved success, both being state champions and whatnot, so we talk a little bit about their stories on how they achieved their success. We talk about what it was like to watch each other achieve success. We talk about the hardest opponents that they've each wrestled during their high school careers. We talk about a couple other things, what their favorite fast food is. We talk about their favorite video games. We talk about their what kind of music they like to listen to, and so much more. So here's that audio right now. Please enjoy. All right, so I'm sitting here with Wesley Bockert Jr., a.k.a. Buddy Bockert, for those that don't know, and his little brother, Jeremy Bockert. We're going to just jump right into the very beginning. This is all going to be about wrestling for the most part, except for maybe some stuff at the end if we have time to just kind of talk about some random stuff. Okay. Let's start off. When did you both start wrestling?
I was like 3 when I was involved with it because my dad was coaching, so I'd always be around it.
Yeah, we were always kind of like around it. So I started, I think, when I was 5.
When do you remember the first time you had like actual like competition when you're wearing like a little singlet doing freestyle? Because I think the youngest you can be is actually like 5 to actually have a match, and then you can be like 4 to like practice.
I don't remember me like when I was like 5 or anything, but I remember him, and he would just stand up and try to throw head and arms. But I can't remember me like I like the youngest I can remember having competition is probably like 6 or 8.
Okay.
I don't really remember doing much. No.
And then obviously you guys got into wrestling because of your dad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you think that you would have got into it? I mean, I guess it's hard to say, but do you think you would have got into wrestling if your dad wasn't a coach? If your dad literally never wrestled in his life, do you think it's something that you guys would have done?
Probably, because it's something he did and probably would.
No, I'm saying if he never did.
Oh, never did?
Like, let's say your dad never wrestled in his life. Do you think it's something that you guys would end up picking up and being like, hey, I want to try that? I know it's hard to say because you've been around it like your whole lives.
I'd probably be like, oh, that's weird.
I'd probably try it if my dad never did it. But mostly probably like do like football. But if my dad is a cross country guy, I'd probably do what he's doing.
Yeah, that makes sense. I got into wrestling because my older brother. My dad never wrestled, but so makes sense. Who's been your guys' biggest influences in wrestling? Has it been your dad?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What about you? I mean, you have an older brother. Your dad and your brother? Mainly your dad?
Yeah, mainly my dad, I guess. But I try being a little bit better than this one.
That's kind of the point, though, as a little brother.
Yeah.
It's always like competition, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then what is it like or was like having your dad as your head coach?
I think it was easy at some points, but like when it's competition and he knows you can do way more than what you're putting out, that's the hard part. Like if you are backing off and not beating up the kid as much as you should, he'll know.
Yeah.
But like as a regular coach, he probably won't care that much.
Like if someone else was your head coach, they wouldn't probably know that because they don't know you on that personal level that your dad like knows you like on and off the mat.
Yeah.
Do you think there's more pressure with your dad being like the head coach?
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot.
More pressure to what? Like do better?
Make him look good.
You don't want to be a coach.
Make him look better?
You gotta make him look good.
Yeah.
He's selling stuff.
And make him look bad.
Yeah.
If we go 2-0.
Yeah, if we go 2-0, we ain't gonna have a good day.
Even off the mat though, I mean, do you think there's pressure for you guys to like be a certain way, like in the mat room at practice, or even like outside of wrestling, like him knowing that these are his kids, and if you guys say like screwed off or got in trouble outside, that like reflects on him as the head coach?
Yeah. He always says something if we like get beaten in practice room.
People talk, be like, your son needs to stop doing this. But if we were doing the same thing, they'd be like, well, your son's doing this. So we try not to be like in that group of
Right.
trying to get in trouble or anything.
So with there being like more pressure, do you think that makes it like harder to like compete, or even like that you have to like work harder in the practice room?
I make sure I work harder and make sure I'm also pointing people in the right direction, because it's like at the end of the day, it is an individual sport, but like if you want to win more than just yourself, you need to help the others.
Yeah, I mean, and then your practice room obviously reflects a lot on you too. I mean, you have to have good people to practice with, and if you don't, then it hurts you. And obviously your guys' answers on all these are going to be a lot different because, Buddy, you've come and gone through your high school career and you're like halfway through, I guess you'd say. So, I mean, you know what it's like to go from beginning to start, and you're still halfway through. So you're still like learning and growing as your own person or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Buddy, you were successful in high school. You placed third as a freshman, then second, and then you won back-to-back state championships. What do you think made you so successful in wrestling in high school? Because I mean, there's a lot of people that wrestle from the age of 5 or whatever all the way through, and even have their dad as the head coach and aren't as successful. Like,
well, when I was younger, I wasn't that good. Like, I was wrestling with Paul Stephensons and Marcus Amico, like those past wrestlers that are also state champs, but they're older than me. So I was already like getting my butt whooped and all that stuff. And I didn't, like, in middle school, I didn't get to wrestle that much because we moved. They didn't really have strong wrestling in South Carolina. And then when I came back, I'm like, well, I want to prove that I'm not a chump. Like, I can still wrestle and hang with the toughest guys. So that would pretty much drive me to be a state champ. And my dad was never a state champ, so I tried to do that for him and help. Because he won a state championship with West Valley, and I wanted to win one with Lathrop because that's where he is now.
yeah.
Show that he still is capable of making a state championship team. So.
Do you think you would have been better if you guys didn't move? Like, if you guys stayed here the whole time and had better competition or whatever? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah,
In South
I think
Carolina.
so. I didn't wrestle the whole time in South Carolina.
Yeah. We had to, like, find the gym just to, like, roll around. We didn't even really compete.
Oh, geez, that's crazy. So, I mean, what do you think it takes to be, like, successful as a wrestler? If you're talking to another kid and they said, hey, what do I need to do to try to get to where you were or whatever, what would you tell them?
You need to put in the overtime. Like,
Yeah, just
it's
keep
not
getting mat time.
Yeah, it's not just practice when it's mandatory. Like, you'll see, like, kids from, like, South, like, in Anchorage and Wasilla, like, there's a lot of them that don't do the summer stuff, and they come in the season, and you think they're just gonna, like, be what they were a year ago, and then this kid comes out of nowhere that did wrestle with us in the summer and traveled with us, and now he's whooping his butt, so.
Yeah, I definitely think that, like I was talking about, mat time plays a huge part in the success, and just, doing stuff when people aren't looking kind of thing. Like doing stuff that's not mandatory.
Yeah.
And what about you? You're halfway through. You placed second last year, and then you won state this year. I mean, do you think the same thing he does as far as, like, what does it take to be successful? Because on top of that, for you to be successful is different than what it takes for him to be successful.
Yeah, you kind of just want to get as much mat time as you can. Don't go over and grab somebody that's just going to be talking to you the whole time, messing around.
That's a good point.
That's why I grabbed Garrett. He's a quiet man.
Quiet man, but he works hard.
Yeah.
So I imagine I know your answer, but Buddy, who do you think is the hardest person you wrestled in high school? Like not during not when you were in high school and you guys traveled to like Fargo or something like that, but like in the state of Alaska while wrestling, collegiate.
That's easy. Probably like Isaiah Elsas. I wrestled him only 3 times my sophomore year because he's a little bit smaller than me and I grew a little bit. Well, when I wrestled him, it was always like, we're going to go to overtime, or it's going to be, I'm going to win by a point or something. Like, I never lost to him, but, like, I lost to other people, but he was probably the one who worked the hardest and was more difficult. Like, I also wrestled Barrett Sturgeon a lot, but Elsas always got, like, made me run for my money. Like,
that tough match, like, every time. Probably the kid that you were like, man, I don't want to wrestle this kid just because it's going to be just a match that's just going to be a pain.
Because it's just like wrestling Joe. He sucks in that elbow and then elbow pass, and he always gets me, so I always have to back up, make sure he doesn't get my elbow.
And Jeremy, who do you think that Conception's your toughest kid you've wrestled?
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I mean, you're still halfway through and you haven't really wrestled a lot of kids that are like too tough. I mean, you've been fortunate enough to be like the lightest weights the first 2 years, and nothing against those kids, but you get a lot of freshmen that come in, or a lot of kids that don't have like a lot of
20 pounds lighter.
body or a lot of body mass yet, so they're kind of weak. So you think Conception's the toughest kid that you've wrestled?
Yeah.
What? So I kind of know how this goes, but it's a little different. Watching like your sibling like compete and succeed, like growing up before you got to high school, watching Buddy like win state as when you were a freshman freshman, and then you were also in 8th grade, and then even watching him in the state finals before that. Like, what was that like for you watching your brother like succeed?
The year he lost, it was kind of crazy. I was pissed.
Yeah, you're good. Well, when he was a sophomore?
Yeah, and then when he first won, I teared up a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, Mom told me.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see it, but...
And then his senior year?
It was like, kind of saw it coming.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then what about you? I mean, so this year you came back for state, second day of state, and I told your dad that I thought that you should sit in his chair for a state finals match, because I know how it was with me and Dylan, and having like your brother there that you're close with, like to support you as a coach, as well as just, you know, having that person in the corner, like makes a huge difference. You got your dad in the corner, now your brother in the corner. And when I felt like it was like locked up and I knew that Jeremy like won unless something like crazy happened, I didn't watch the match anymore. I watched your face. And I could see in your face, because I've been there before, just like the joy and excitement of watching him win. Explain to me what that was like, watching your brother win state as a sophomore. And not only was it this that he won state, I mean, he beat a kid who was 40-0 or whatever on the year, the kid who beat him at state the year before, who was like 40-1 the year before.
Like, it was crazy. It was like about time. Like, that kid finally, like Jeremy works. I see how hard he works. Yes, they probably go to J-Rob, but every kid goes to J-Rob and they come back the same to me. Like, they probably work hard and lift, but he works hard on technique and moving around, and it paid off. And that was probably more exciting than when I won state. Like, I was happy that I won state, but that was probably way more exciting because I got to be in the corner with my dad and coach my brother. And I see him like with the W doing it back at him. That was nice. I actually enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Speaking of, so when you won state, kind of jumping around here, what do you think was like a sweeter moment? When you won state for the first time or the second time? Like, first time you finally won, you're on top, that's like the first one. So don't get me wrong, it's got to be awesome. But also going out, like as a senior, going out on top, no regrets, like being able to be like, boom, I'm the best as I walk out the door. That's got to be pretty cool too.
Untie your shoes and leave them.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, like, so what one do you like? What one was better for you?
Like,
probably the first one.
The first one, because like when I wrestled Spencer Martin, I pretty much knew like this kid is talented, but he cannot outwork me at all. So I knew I could win that one, but it was nice to when that's all over, you got all this weight off your shoulder, like you're done. But the first time I won probably was the best, because kid got me in overtime the first time we wrestled. It was Levi Hopkins, and then the second time at Palmer, it was probably like double overtime. And I thought I had him when he was running out of bounds, and then it turned out he beat me. And then state, I just let him all have it. Didn't even let the match get close at all. Like, I just let him up 5 times and
so
took him down.
state your junior year, that was the first time you beat him in the state finals that year?
Yeah, that was the only time I ever beat him. I never wrestled him again.
So you guys just wrestled 3 times that year or something like that?
3 times.
Oh, right on. Yeah, so that definitely adds to it. All right, jumping back around again. What was your after weigh-in, like, food or drink, like, go-to? Like, you weigh in, you finally make weight, and you're like, cool, now I can... But you didn't cut, like, a whole lot, right?
My junior and senior year, no.
But before that?
Before that, I would destroy a bagel and granola bars and drink a Pedialyte.
What about you, Jeremy? Because you cut pretty hard this year, so, I mean, it's always a relief, like, weighing in and seeing that you made it, and then being able to go and just be like, I bottle water, like whatever, being able to actually like drink something. Like, what was your go-to?
I almost always had apple juice because that was so good, and Pedialyte. And what I ate, bagels and Nutella. I was always asking for T-Bell, but my dad wouldn't let it.
Just because it was during the
When
season?
you're cutting weight, like when I finally get to eat, but when I drink first, I'm like, that's all I care about. I just want some liquids. I don't care about food right now.
When I tell people about cutting weight and wrestling, because, you know, most people, like anyone who didn't wrestle before, like doesn't know about cutting weight, but the thing that you take for granted probably most when you're wrestling and having to cut is that being able to drink what you want when you want, or not even what you want necessarily, but just being able to, it's hard, like when you're cutting that hard, like, and you really want to drink a water and you like I'm going to have to pay for this later, even if it's just a drink of water. That sucks the most. Most people don't know that, you know, like if they're playing basketball or football or soccer, whatever, if they want to drink a water, they just go grab a drink of water. They can slam a whole water bottle without any questions and be like, all right, cool, that was good. People just don't know that feeling. What do you guys feel like when people show up sometimes after weigh-ins and they're eating like McDonald's and stuff? Does that make you mad?
They're going to lose. They're not going to win. They're just, your parent loves you too much. Like, my parents just look at us and they're like.
Do you think that's because they don't know any better or their parents don't know any better or both?
Both. And
Yeah.
like,
So I've seen kids show up with, when Dylan was in high school, there was this kid that didn't, it was like first year wrestling, which is a little understandable, and he was a heavyweight, but he actually had to cut to make heavyweight, and then after weigh-ins, he had a big bag of pizza, and I was like, what? No, you are not
you're gonna
eating
puke on
this.
somebody. But
And he was super upset. We actually took the pizza away. I don't know if your dad remembers the kid. His kid's name was, I think, Ryan Williams, but
I don't remember.
he was... he was running at Lathrop in the hallways before we went out to, I think it was either the John Tobin tournament or it might have been regionals out at North Pole, but either way, he was running in the hallways at North Pole, and I've never seen a heavyweight actually have to cut to make it. And then when he pulled that out, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like,
Dude, that
no.
reminds me of Gloria.
Yeah, Gloria's like that. But they also go to the, like the snack bar or whatever it's called. They just go
concession
there.
stand.
Yeah, they just go get nachos and stuff. But if we do that now, we just run.
That's one thing about like a concession stand at like tournaments and stuff that people don't really realize or know about. I mean, yeah, you're selling food to like people that are just hanging out, but if you're actually trying to sell food to the wrestlers, they have like just the worst stuff, like hot dogs and nachos and pizza and just kind of just trash, candy.
It's not good at all.
Soda,
There's
yeah.
no like vegetables or anything.
No, yeah,
Fruits.
nothing healthy that you could actually go to after weigh-ins and be like,
It's not a football game. You need good stuff.
So, Jeremy, what is your pre-match like routine? Do you have like a routine that you do every time before a match? Like once I see that I'm in the hole, that's when I'm gonna get up and start moving around. Or
Yeah, I kind of like just pace back and forth. I don't know why I do. I just do it.
you listen to music? I think
Uh,
everybody listens to music. Just
Sometimes.
about.
The only time the first time I listened to music was the final match, and I didn't pace back and forth that time. Kind of just jumped around.
I've noticed some people do like the whole pacing around for like 2 hours prior.
I
That
do
was
that.
me.
I do
Was
that.
That's what I do.
You think that's because you're nervous or just?
Yeah, I get nervous. And then I kind of like try
I
and
can't sit down.
tell
Me and,
myself that I want to hurt 'em.
Me and Dylan were kind of like laughing at both of them, but at the Lancer Smith tournament, we were sitting there, and the 140-pound match was going to be Kobe Ames versus Rush Fannin, and they are both walking around for like 2 hours listening to music and already kind of like warming up, and I'm like, oh my god, there was like the consolation finals and they're already like moving around. I'm like, man, these guys are walking like 20 miles before they even actually like wrestle each other. Imagine that would kind of get like tiring. So
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
so
blew out.
yeah, so you just pace around, that's what you do before you have a match?
Yeah.
You get actual like good sweat going, or
Yeah, sometimes I get really warmed up.
that's probably
Sometimes my
from,
hands-
you think that's probably from being nervous though, more than,
Yeah.
like obviously you're not sweating because you're over there doing push-ups and
Yeah.
running laps and stuff like that. It's mainly just nerves and stuff.
Sometimes you go to
Yeah,
the
that's-
bathroom like 7 times in like a minute. I'm like, what the heck?
What about you? What was your same thing? Just
Yeah, I pace around. Like I'll just put my headphones on. I won't like run or anything or wrestle around until like I'm in the hole or getting like my name's on the board. But I'll
because some
keep-
people get really into their like pre-match warm-up.
Yeah,
like
and then they get tired in a minute.
yeah, they'll be over there like seem to like be drilling like
Yeah.
right before a match. And then sometimes people will be over there literally not doing anything and be like, how are you ready to go?
Sometimes I do that. Like I don't do anything when I see the kid. I'm like, this is his first year.
Give him no respect.
I'm just gonna like
Just go out here and
practice
trash this
takedowns.
kid.
Yeah, warm up pretty much. That's my warm up the first match.
Did you listen to music? You said when you warmed up every time. Do you think you could warm up without music?
No,
No,
not at all.
not trying to be that guy to be like back in my day, but back in my day, our coach didn't let us listen to music at all. It was like outlawed. No one was allowed to listen. No one was allowed to listen to music, and I always thought that was kind of like the dumbest thing because I always thought like if you could get like any sort of like mental edge for yourself from listening to I don't know Eye of the Tiger that gets you in the zone, go over there and listen to Eye of the Tiger. Like who cares? But he used to be so against like you don't need any devices or anything like that to like you should be able to get yourself pumped up enough to go out there.
Yeah, because they're like used to everything made out of wood.
Do you think that you would be able to go warm up though without music?
No, I still
Think it actually you think it gives you enough of an edge or enough of a like an advantage, like getting yourself that hype, being able to
because
listen
if you don't have headphones on, someone's gonna come and talk to you and bother you, and like just leave me alone for a little bit. I'm not trying to be rude, but
yeah, that actually used to always annoy me. Be warming up and you have kids that maybe
who you about to wrestle?
yeah,
That's how it
exactly.
goes.
Or a kid come up and be like, "Yeah, you got this, man." You'd be like, "Dude, just leave me alone. Like, why are you even talking?"
Why are you down here? Aren't you supposed to be in the stands or something?
Yeah, someone who doesn't maybe like know enough or
I'm already
just...
out of the tournament.
Dang.
So I'm gonna ask you, Jeremy, describe Buddy's wrestling style.
He like smacks the head. He's like boom, 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 and then just shoots out like that. It's kind of crazy.
That's his wrestling style.
That's it?
Smacks the head, boom, 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 and just
I sound like,
scoops you up.
a wrestler retarded.
Well, that's what it looks like.
I mean, aggressive.
I guess if you
You
want to
don't
call
let
it
the man
that.
breathe.
Well, how would you describe his style? Because obviously you guys wrestle way different from one
Yeah,
another.
like he wrestles.
slow.
He's slow, but he's not really good at defending the like shot on really good kids. But he always like has a good sprawl. He tries to get out of it, but when he rides the legs, I don't think anybody else can get up. Like I don't ride legs. Period. Like I don't like it. My legs are too long for it, and I'm more of I'm gonna try to turn you more than put my legs in and try to ride you out. But he likes riding legs and thinking like. If I'm gonna wait till that kid moves that arm, and then he's gonna try to scoop it up and throw it to his back. Me, I'm gonna try to like muscle it.
Why do you like riding legs? Do you think it's because you're like longer than kids that are your size?
Yeah, I got long legs, so kind of like wraps around him, just keeps
Like a
him
snake.
down.
Mr. Fantastic.
What do you think his like biggest weakness is? I guess is it the shot defense?
My feet.
On your
Yeah,
feet?
he does not move his feet. That's why I say the shot, because you don't move your feet.
Yeah.
And that's why like Conception gets good shots on you.
And you know that you're not good on your feet,
Yeah,
but
I
you
know
don't
that.
care.
I've been trying to work on my stance.
Try to get him to do ladders.
Yeah, I've been trying to move faster on my feet.
What would you say that his? What do you think his biggest weakness was? Is
I
Nothing.
don't really know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been a while since I saw you wrestle.
been a while. What are you talking about? It's been like a year.
I wrestled in
That's
this
wild.
summer with you, bro.
Yeah, there you go. You
That's
don't
like-
think? What? He has no weaknesses at all. If someone does like leg defense, maybe if someone
probably
throws legs
would-
in on him.
Oh,
What do you
I'm
think?
actually-
Oh, he's
I'm
pretty
good
good
at
at
Well, I'm
leg
just throwing out an
defense.
example. Like, what do you
Oh,
think? Do you,
I
if you had
think-
to,
I just have trouble reaching and stuff, and like staying in a good like I can stay in a stance, but is it gonna be like good enough to like?
Like any style.
Stop a
weakness?
shot.
What?
Any style.
well, yeah, sure.
Greco.
Oh, I'm terrible.
He
at
can't
that.
throw.
Yeah,
Really?
my back
Yeah.
arch looks like an old man
He
falling.
back flops.
Yeah.
We call him slingshot.
Okay, so I mean, I think I know the answer for you, Jeremy. But when the season's all done and you don't have to worry about cutting weight anymore, or like really worry about what you eat, like what is the one thing that you're like, I can't wait for season's done because then I can have
T-Bill.
Taco Bell?
We had T-Bill like
Today.
an hour ago,
Yeah.
the day before.
Yeah.
What about? Do you feel the same
Then
way?
for that.
Like when the season's over, you're like, man, I can't wait to have Taco Bell.
Yeah, that and like if we're in Anchorage and the season's over, I'll try to go somewhere like that we don't have in Fairbanks, like
Yeah.
Arby's or something.
Yeah.
Now they got Buffalo Wild Wings, so I need to go back there.
They're opening up a place down there called Cane's, Raising Cane's, chicken fingers place. No, it sounds weird. It'll blow your mind. They had one in Vegas when I lived there, right down the road. I'd eat there like every other day or every day if I could, and that's literally all they have: chicken fingers and this like special sauce and French fries. So I'm just telling you, when you go down there next time when they're open, you have to go to Cane's.
Okay.
If I had
I like chicken, so I don't.
if I had the money to do it or whatever, I would try to bring one like here. Like bring a chain here of canes.
Oh, I thought
Open
you
up
meant
your
bring
own.
us some.
No.
I was gonna say,
No.
that's old.
No. So Taco Bell, what's your go-to order?
Crab Trap Supreme and a Frito burrito grilled.
Every time? That's what you get? You
Uh,
ever switch it up? You ever add another thing?
I'll try, like, if they got something new,
Like a cheese
I'll
gordita?
try that.
Like a cheese gordita?
Oh yeah, cheese gordita too. That's pretty good.
What's your go-to?
That, but I like everything I get. I need to put like fire sauce on it, or if it's like a hard taco, I need to put like a hot shell on it. I need some. He's a baby and gets mild sauce the whole time, but
I don't even get sauce on my stuff, to be honest.
no, I need sauce. I'm too, if there's no spice,
just the flavor.
then I don't really want it.
Well, you change it completely.
System.
So is that your guys' favorite fast food places then?
Mhm.
Taco
Yeah.
Bell?
If
And
they had a
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A.
you said-
Never had Chick-fil-A. Is that?
Well,
Did you guys
never
have that?
had
I have
Yeah,
never
we
had
lived in
it.
South Carolina for a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do they have anything down there that you guys like miss in particular?
Chick-fil-A
Chick-fil-A,
and Bojangles.
Bojangles. Yeah, that's like a chicken place too, right? It's kind of like KFC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing that sucks about living here. Your dad told me something interesting about you. He said that you freak out when you're held down against your will. Is that true?
When someone's putting legs on me, and like
He didn't say it with wrestling. I
Oh,
said, hey, I know
yeah.
that Jeremy is obsessed with Taco Bell, from what
Oh.
I understand. I said, do you have any like tidbit of random information about Buddy that I can ask him on the podcast?
that man sits on me, and he's like
No
almost
toes.
300 pounds, and then he tries to put his feet on me, and I hate feet. Like I don't understand how people have fetish for feet, because feet are disgusting. Like people sweat mostly on their feet and armpits. That's like the most, and then.
So do you think your dad just said that because you freak out when he holds you down?
Yeah.
Because he's going to mess with you like extra, put
Like, yes,
his feet in your face.
If you put
and-
a pillow over my head, I'd probably freak out too.
Are you guys pretty competitive with one another?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was glad he won state, but I'm like, damn it, now he has 2 more years to beat me.
And get more. Yeah, but at the same time, like, don't you want him to in
Yeah.
that regard? I mean, if it was like head to head, probably not.
But I really want him to get bigger, so when someone's like, well, you're at a baby weight, because I know I use that against him, I'd be like, well, you can't if you're at like 120. Like, I'll give you that, because I wrestled 120, I took third.
obviously it's a long ways away. What do you think you're gonna wrestle next year? Think you're gonna be able to stay small, be at 112?
It depends where like people go. Like,
It's best for the team.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean we
You
have a
gotta
pretty
see where
tough
the
team.
teammates are. That's why I kind of went 103 again. Well, the
We do
lightest
have,
weight.
yeah, we do have strong
Because we
lightweight.
had Colton and Roberto.
Yeah, who are the
they
number
couldn't
2
make
and the
cut.
3 seed at 112. So it would have been kind of not dumb, but I mean if you were able to go to 103 like you were, I mean kind of pointless to have 3 studs at 112.
Yeah.
You can make one. You're getting tall, so I don't think you're going to make 130.
You think 112 or 119 then?
Roberto, his mom wouldn't let him cut to 103. And Colton,
Colton was
he's
close.
still too young, I think.
Yeah, he got
Not
down to
ready
like
yet.
108 and then decided that he didn't think he could keep going, which is understandable. It's hard
The
when
first
you haven't
cut's
cut.
always the worst.
Yeah, well, also when you haven't cut weight before, and then you kind of maybe either don't know how to do it properly, or just like you said, not only if you've never cut weight, but the first time getting down is like the most difficult, and then it's like easier to kind of maintain once you're down there. But you know, for someone who's never cut weight and then getting down there for the first time, that's definitely kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
What kind of video games do you guys like playing?
Madden 2K.
Fortnite, and I recently got Red Dead.
Oh yeah, what do you think about that?
It's alright.
I'm a big sports guy, but the only video games I'll play with guns is probably like old Halo and Halo and stuff.
So you guys have different taste in games. Do you like Madden and like playing NBA 2K or
Yeah.
not as much?
Yeah, they're pretty fun.
He's
I
not
have
good at it.
Madden.
And then Fortnite and like Red Dead, you don't care as
I don't know
much?
how to play or Fortnite. I'm not good at all, but
I
Red Dead
haven't
is
really
fun.
been
It's
playing.
like GTA, but
Yeah, I mean the same company that makes the GTA.
I play GTA all the time, so it's like the same thing
So you're a big sports guy for video games or just in general? Like,
in general.
do you like watching sports?
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite sport to watch?
Football,
Who's your favorite football team?
Broncos,
Okay, why?
because Peyton Manning was there. I used to be a Colts fan because he was there, but then he went.
That makes sense. I was, or I am a Miami Dolphins fan because my older brother. Yeah, I know they suck. Because my older brother. Yeah, well, my older brother liked them, and I always idolized my older brother growing up, and he liked them because Dan Marino.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense. But Peyton Manning, I think, always been my favorite player to watch when I've actually like paid attention to watch football.
Yeah.
So like I was always, if the Dolphins did bad, which has been forever. I was always rooting for the Colts, and then when he went over to the Broncos, I was rooting for them. Do you have favorite? What about you? Do you watch any of that stuff? You don't care enough?
Not really.
Why not?
I don't care.
Why? Just not.
I
You just
don't
don't.
know.
Because always on
Never really got
Xbox.
into it. It's kind of boring, I think. Unless like you're actually paying attention. then
If it's
not
like
boring.
a Super Bowl.
That makes sense. Do you watch the other sports? Like
Yeah.
basketball?
I watch basketball. I try to watch baseball.
Do you have a favorite basketball team? Do you have a favorite baseball team?
I watch some curling. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, curling's awesome.
I like the Lakers, but I used to be like a big Kyrie Irving's fan when he was at Cleveland, but he left, and I don't really like the Celtics. So
Do you like the Lakers because of LeBron, or do you just like the Lakers because...
I like the Lakers when Kobe was there, but I wasn't like a huge fan. Like I'll dive right into it, but I enjoyed like playing 2K when Kobe and Steve Nash and when they were there and Dwight Howard.
I asked your dad this question way back in the day, like before I had podcasts or anything like that, like way back when he coached the first time around, who his favorite basketball team is, and he told me whoever Shaquille O'Neal plays for.
So he liked the Heat.
At that time, at that given question, Shaquille O'Neal was playing for the Boston Celtics.
Oh,
But I mean, he had like 5 years or something like that where he was playing for like a different team every year.
Mhm.
I've always been a Miami Heat fan, so when LeBron went to Miami like way back in the day, I was like super stoked, and then people were giving me a bunch of crap being a bandwagon fan. But
why do you
guess
like
what?
Miami so much?
Same thing with all my favorite teams, except hockey. I like because my older brother liked them. My older brother liked the Miami Heat. My older brother liked the Chicago Cubs for baseball because their second baseman was this dude that he like idolized because he grew up playing baseball.
Mhm.
So I like the Chicago Cubs. When they were terrible, and now they're good, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, so I don't know why he liked the Miami Heat. I mean, the Dolphins is because the Dan Marino thing. But do you have a favorite baseball team?
The Tigers, but they suck.
Why do you like the Tigers?
Because I have to like something in Michigan, man.
Okay.
I don't want to be the Lions fan. That's terrible.
Yeah, that is true. Do you guys have a similar taste in music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of music do you listen to?
A lot of like
Right before a match, I just put on straight
Drake.
Shoreline Mafia. I just listen to them the whole time to get pumped. It kind of calmed me down a little bit.
So you guys listen to a lot of like rap music,
Mm-hmm.
and then, but can you get down to other stuff?
Yeah.
Like
I
if-
like country sometimes when I'm
Yeah.
working. But I can't listen to country if I'm warming up or
Yeah.
lifting.
No, I hear you. Yeah.
Country bowl.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I couldn't do that either. But what about like what do your parents think of you guys listening to rap? I mean, they
My mom
don't.
They don't
doesn't
like
like it. And my dad thinks it's stupid. He says it's some gang crap.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I'm like, well, you got to just let it soak in. Like,
My dad used to always say the same thing because I always kind of grew up liking like hip hop and stuff like that.
like
So
Eminem.
pretty much, yeah. So I mean, that was like right around my time frame of growing up when he was like in his prime. But my dad would always be like, "Oh, you can't understand what they're saying," and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, if you're an idiot, just listen.
I can understand
Listen to what he's
him
saying. I
right
can sing
now.
this whole song, and I can understand him just fine. And it's not just about the song; it's about like the beat and stuff, man. If it's got a crappy beat and the guy's spitting fire, it's still garbage, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Or the other way around, if it's got an awesome beat and the guy's spitting trash, I'm like, this is garbage.
Like, I can't hear you because I'm too busy trying to block out your beat.
Yeah, and then that's coming from my dad though, who like always listened to like classic rock and stuff. So I'm like,
I
can't-
can listen to that though. It's 'cause
I can listen to that.
I grew up with
Not that screamo
listening to
rock.
stuff. Not that stuff, but AC/DC and
Yeah, that also
Guns N' Roses.
that kind of stuff can get me hyped up for working out and stuff. They do a pretty good job. I don't know what it
I
is
know it
about.
hypes up my dad. He looks like he's about to kill somebody.
Yeah,
when I
he's
put
like-
this on. He's
he's-
like, this is real music. Rawr! I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I remember a couple times last year, Dad telling me to put my music on because whoever used to play
Me.
music, yeah, some songs, and I think it's like certain artists, to be honest. Like, oh man, what's that stupid guy's name with the like red dreads? You know what I'm talking about?
Lil Yachty?
Yeah, that's what I was
Yes.
thinking.
Oh my God.
Or
Yeah.
do
He only has
Are you
like
thinking of
2
Lil
good
Pump?
songs.
No,
Lil
I was thinking Lil Yachty.
Oh,
I was, because Nathan Kisgan listened to Lil Yachty like every song on the way down to South Anchorage in my van or whatever.
There's only 2 good songs.
Horrible.
Everything else sounds like
Lil Yachty and then Juice WRLD.
He does have good music.
Yeah,
if you listen
I
to
like
like
his music.
I only like 3 of his songs. Everything else is like depressing as hell.
Yeah, I don't listen enough to him. I get Nathan and those guys really like just destroyed that stuff for me because playing the same songs and getting super hype, and I'm like, we just heard this song literally like 10 songs ago. It comes back on, and he's just getting it right back into it like it's like this favorite song that he hasn't heard for 10 years.
Like, I can't do that either. I need a new song. I need to go back to the old songs if I'm all out of the new ones.
I'll ask you a question. Were you like, how was it when Buddy left, like the state, to go to school? Was it sad? Were you upset? Were you crying?
To be honest, no, we didn't really cry. To be honest, it was like, whew, it's a break. No, I'm just kidding.
I just know like when I moved to Las Vegas, it was hard for me and Dylan. I like grew up with him like down the hall like my whole life, and then all of a sudden that wasn't there for either one of us. It was just a growing experience and just different. I mean, because you guys are the only boys of your family, besides your dad, obviously. But like with me and Dylan, if we ever wanted to do anything, it'd be like, hey man, you want to play a game or do whatever? Like whatever, we hung out like all the time. How was it for both of you? How was it for you being gone and being like complete? You left your entire family. Yeah. You had one of your family members leave.
For me, it was like he's gone, but like we were kind of crammed in that room, so it was like,
You got breathing room. Well, for me, I knew they didn't miss me that much because right when I got on that plane, my bed was gone. Like they took my bed out and everything. They were waiting for me. They're like, bye, and then like 10 minutes later, they're showing me pictures of them taking the bed apart, and I'm like, what the? Yeah, they don't miss me, but. When I got there, I was the only, like no one else was there because I had to be there early for football, so there was no other students. And it was lonely. The air conditioning was not working. I would wake up with sweat all over me. I bought a fan, and the fan was just blowing hot air at me. And it was miserable. Yeah. And then, like when people did come, it got better. And then I FaceTimed them a lot to see how the team was doing and see how
whose phone was broken? Yours or his?
Mine.
His phone.
I got iPhone X now. That's all good.
Man, you can't even hear the case is trash.
It's because you can't press on it or you can't hear anything.
Oh, but you don't think it was like too hard being gone for like or both of you? I mean, granted, like
it's kind of boring.
I hang out with him way more now.
Do you guys get along like the most out of your family? You think?
Because my sisters did all my friends, so
yeah.
Yeah, they kind of took all his friends.
Dang.
I only got one sister left. That's normal.
The little one. Movies. You guys can you think off the top of your head like a favorite movie of all time?
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers?
That one's pretty good. I'm trying to think of a different one.
Is it all just comedy?
I like comedy, but there's some like the Marvel I like those a lot.
Series. That's hard to really narrow down to like one like favorite
because it's a
on
story each and they're all together.
Yeah. And then on top of that, what about you guys watch any like particular like shows or anything? Do you like Netflix a lot?
Yeah, I kind of watched almost everything on Netflix.
I like that 70s show.
You have to have a favorite show then, or like a top couple. Ever seen them? Oh, maybe you guys are too young.
That 70s show, The Office.
Office is good.
Actually, Parks and Rec.
Haven't seen it. Heard it was similar.
I like it. I think I started watching it because you know the guy from like Jurassic Park.
Yeah, Chris
Blue
Pratt.
Mountain State.
Yeah, he's on that and he's funny. Blue Mountain State. I don't really get into that. That's just.
I've never even heard of that.
I feel like that's just like porn on a show. That's not even.
Is it funny? Is it a comedy?
It's funny, but it's like inappropriate.
What is it called?
Blue Mountain State. It's a football party school.
Mountain State. Is that like a Netflix original or?
No, it was like on Comedy Central, I think.
Interesting. Yeah, I actually hated The Office when it was actually like running on TV. I thought it was like
boring.
I actually like it now.
I don't know how he watches it though.
I actually like it now. I've watched this.
You're still a child.
I watched it through like probably 3 times, not like just straight, but you know, it's like a good show because when it's on TV, it was 30 minutes. So on Netflix, it's like 20, like 3 or something like that. So you could pop on like 2 episodes of that like in the background or whatever while you're doing something or just hanging out. It's pretty good show, pretty funny show. But yeah, you're just a little baby still.
Yeah, when I was in
Can't
college, I tried
appreciate
to watch everything.
the good stuff.
I tried to watch Robot. I finished Robot Chicken, all of it. I finished all the Family Guys. Like, I was so bored, I just watched everything to make me laugh. Because I was not going to watch something depressing when I'm not home. Like,
Yeah,
now
totally.
I'm just home.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm alone with Jacob.
When it's all said and done, when high school is over for you, are you trying? I mean, obviously the goal is to be a 3-time state champ, right?
Yeah.
3-time state champ, 4-time finalist, just like Dylan, but in a different way. Anything else? Shooting for some of the records that are on the board up there.
Yeah, I'm trying
Ain't
to
mine.
take the
What record do you have?
most
Takedown.
reverse.
Takedowns.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm gonna
Oh,
take
yeah.
that too. No, I'm just kidding.
He might get the most taken down.
Yeah. That's.
Yeah, you can get the most reversals because Caden
Yeah,
has that.
I think I'm gonna try and get that. I was trying to get it this season, but
You want to get most reversals? That's like not a
Yeah.
good
No, like
record
you
to have.
pick
necessarily.
down. Just pick down.
And I
Or
get
if you
taken
pin
down.
the kid in the first period, you don't have to pick down.
Yeah.
I get taken down
Most
all the
pins.
time
Go
anyway,
for
so it's kind of
most pins. Dude.
Yeah, go for most pins in a season.
Oh yeah,
I
I
got
was trying to
20.
get that too.
I got 22.
Might be hard for you now to get most pins in a career since you missed first month and a half this year.
That and the season when Dylan got it was longer.
Yeah, true. The other thing is, real quick, going back to you winning state, what do you think was like the factor of like why you won? Because he smashed you at Lancer Smith.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to, sugarcoat, but I mean, you were gone. That was like your first week in a competition, but that was like 3 weeks before state or like a month. It wasn't like that long.
Yeah, that's
You went from getting smashed to, I mean, everyone that I know and what I saw, you pretty much dominated him minus that takedown. I mean, you won what, like 9-2, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Probably could have turned him again if you really like wanted to, but probably weren't trying to put yourself at risk, knowing you had it like locked up. Like, what changed? Because he whipped you last year too, and honestly,
Yeah.
in the finals, he actually pinned you as time expired, but time expired, so you guys had to go back to the third period. Well, I don't remember what the final score
It
was.
was like 8-3.
Yeah, but I mean, you got wrecked to the point that you were like thought it was over or whatever, and then
Yeah.
put your leg bands back on. Time was up. So what was the difference this time? It's the only time you've beaten him.
I kind of like try to change up my stance, trying to get lower and move my feet a little bit more. And then I worked with Coach Jameson. Oh my goodness, I forgot his name. I feel so bad. Coach Jameson on some stuff, and then my dad called Joe Hughes, and he helped me with the bar counter. Same with, again, Coach Jameson.
So you think that just like your difference in match plan and preparation of, kind of like what
Yeah.
you expected him to do. Do you think that he went in there cocky?
Yes.
Or thinking that he was going to
Yeah.
crush you?
All South kids came in cocky.
Yeah. Well, they had a right to be, right? I mean,
They were
they
like
had
dominating
blonde
everybody
mullets.
through the whole season.
we kind of expected that. They actually had a lot closer at the end for first and second than I anticipated. They had a stacked team. They're losing a lot of guys. It's actually kind of
It's
crazy.
so
It's kind of like we
tough.
did.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll win Lathrop? I say we'll for people that don't know. I coach there. Do you think Lathrop will win state again before you're done in the next year or two? We have a really strong sophomore year class.
Yeah. I hope our team gets their crap together a little bit more.
Yeah. Like
Doesn't be so pouty, I guess. I don't know.
there's some kids that are like they want to win state, but they don't want to work for it. Like we have a bunch of kids that
We
are
kept
in
moving.
we have a bunch of sophomores that are in the homeschool thing. They work out every day and stuff like that. And I think if they don't win it next year, they're definitely going to win it when he's a senior because I don't think anybody's going to beat the sophomores that are going to be seniors his year.
Yeah. Well, with South losing a bunch of kids, I think it's going to be another tight race between Lathrop
Yeah.
South and Colony and Wasilla again next year. Kind of always seems to be the
Wasilla.
same.
They're doing good.
Yeah, they're not bad.
I wasn't here to watch season, so
They took fourth, behind us, but they always have a solid team. You can't ever count them out. But I think it always seems to be like the same 4 teams at the top every year anyways. But
they lose a lot of seniors too, I think.
Do they? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. I know that South does because, I mean, looking at it, they are losing like 12 kids or
Wesley
something like that.
Wolf, Hunter Hayes, and then some other kid at like one.
Hunter Hayes, I think he was only a junior.
He has a full beard. He should be graduating. And then there's some others that are leaving too.
And then what about our class that's coming in next year? I don't know anything about that. You guys coach at the middle school. I don't know about Tanner.
There's a couple, but
we'll get
Dennis.
Tobias.
Look at Tobias and Dennis.
Little Dennis.
What about the twins? Are they?
The twins.
Oh, I forgot about them.
Do they go to Ryan?
No, they go
to
Tanner. They're gonna be tough.
How much do they weigh?
Like 125 right now.
Okay, so they're kind of bigger. They're gonna have maybe some trouble when they first come in.
The good thing about them, they'll be like.
Well, they've been coming in and just rolling around for a long time.
They work every day with us.
That's cool.
And then I'm trying to think. I can't think of anybody else because a lot of them just moved.
Well, the other thing is, I mean, we took third, only having 2 seniors. We had a pretty young team.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you talk about the team getting their crap together? Do you think it's because we had such a young team this year? We lost so much leadership and a bunch of seniors, and then this year we only had 2, and one of them was a transfer from another school that not necessarily nobody respected, but got to be hard for him coming in. I'm talking about Andrew Shakursky for those that don't know, coming in from another school. He might know a lot of people, but when you aren't there putting in the work and whatever with all the kids, they don't know. You know what I mean? When you see someone putting in the work and working hard, you respect them that much more because you see it. And it's hard to really come in and demand respect when you weren't at that school the past years. And even for him coming in, not knowing you knew probably some of the bigger names on the team or whatever, but even the rest of the kids who maybe don't do all the off-season stuff.
And the other senior, we had to beg him a couple of years to.
Yeah, I mean, and then he was hurt last year because he broke his foot and missed pretty much all last year. And obviously, I wasn't here for the 2 years before that.
Ben.
No.
You said Ben.
No.
Who's
Andrew.
Ben? Do we have a kid named Ben?
No.
Ben Palan, right? He hurt his foot.
No.
This year.
That's not him.
I don't know who you're talking about.
That's a freshman.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think when I called them, they were telling me, him, Kobe, Nathaniel, they're like, yeah, we just don't have anybody that pushes us. And then when they do, when some kid tries to step up, it's just yelling. It's not trying to you'll be fine, just push through it, or you just
they
get it
try
next
to
time.
motivate, but in maybe
they just
too aggressive way.
Yeah, they just say get on the ball and make them run. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. So basically, you need to step your game up as a leader.
Yeah.
I text him, but I know they were tell him to shut up or something because he's not that big of a person, and he's also a sophomore.
Quiet person. No, I'm just kidding.
Quiet person?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you definitely are.
Quiet until he cries about it at home.
Who's this man?
But you do think that we'll win state one more time before it's all said and done with him?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. The thing about this year, we kept living off of that we won as a team the following year.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think we had a problem with.
And there's a couple matches that I was watching from the younger guys, the same age as him. They were going the match really solid, wrestling good, and then they just try something stupid. They probably saw him Flow Wrestling trying to.
Yeah, that happened quite a bit.
And then they get pinned, and I'm like, well, how stupid do you feel now? So.
Yeah, we had quite a bit of kids for whatever reason, even when they're winning a match, throw themselves to their back, trying to do some stupid cement mixer or something.
Dude, you can try all you want. No Flow Wrestling's gonna put you on.
So I kind of talked to you briefly on Instagram, briefly. What are you up to? You went to school.
Yeah.
That you didn't like it. That school sucked. Or
Yeah.
what?
It was just it's not because they sucked or anything.
Where'd you go to school for the people that don't know?
Oh, Minot State.
Which is in
North Dakota.
North Dakota, and you went there to play football and wrestle,
Mm-hmm.
and it just wasn't working out.
It wasn't something I wanted to continue.
Just wasn't what you expected, or
well, I expected how it was gonna be. It's just it wasn't a place for me. It was the middle of nowhere, nothing to do. It's worse than Fairbanks, and it was way colder. Not because the temperature is just windy as could be, and then it's expensive to leave. If I go somewhere closer to family, if I can't go home, that's fine. I can go see my grandparents or something. But it's a 2-day drive, so I just feel I'll come here.
Was it a smaller town than Fairbanks?
No. Oh, yeah, it was a little smaller, but it had more shopping. But I don't really care that much. I'm a college student. I'm broken.
Yeah. So what are you planning on doing now?
Take a semester here, and because I'm released, so I can start talking to other coaches, and I've already been talking to other coaches. But I'm just going to take a semester here, help out with Ryan, continue coaching, and help with my dad. So
Sweet. Cool. And then you're young. What, you plan on wrestling in college, you think, or
Yeah, I think so.
do you want to, or just...
Yeah, I do. Sometimes I question it.
he's not like me, good at 2 different sports. He's just one.
And then one last question real quick, and then we'll probably cut it short. Or not cut it short, but be done with it. What do you guys think about your little sister wrestling this year? Your dad said that she's never wrestled before.
Yeah.
And this was her first year wrestling?
Well, she came to every year. She would come to interior youth practices, and
Yeah, your dad said that
she's super young.
Your dad said she knows everything. She already knows everything.
Yeah.
She's just afraid of wrestling in front of people or something like that.
yeah, I never heard that before. It's weird, but she's aggressive as could be, but she just needs to clean up on some things, and I honestly think that she can be a state champ next year.
Next year?
Yeah.
Nice. What do you think, Jeremy? I mean, you were in there wrestling her and stuff.
Yeah, she's aggressive. She just needs to learn more things, I think. She needs to clean some stuff up.
But I mean, for girls wrestling, you think that she'll win state next year or could?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she says she wants to do this summer wrestling.
Which will help a lot.
But then it's off and on. No,
Yeah.
I don't want to do it because I don't want to go to practice.
Yeah, I think my dad just needs to give her because she does that with the past. She'd be yeah, I want to wrestle in middle school, and then she tries it, and then she doesn't like it, and she becomes
Bails
a mat
out.
manager. And I'm well, that's fine, but give her a choice. But if she goes back and forth, give her a choice that don't give her a choice. Then I say you're gonna do this because you couldn't make up your mind.
So why did she wrestle this year? Did your dad push her, or did she actually say that I want to try again and then liked it, or
I have no idea. I wasn't here.
We kind of talked.
maybe the other girls on the team?
I think so because she's friends with a lot of them.
You tried talking to her to do it, you said?
Yeah, because we're trying to get more girls to wrestle. And she was questioning about it, and then my dad told her that she probably should wrestle.
Yeah, because she beats you at home.
No, she does not.
Wow.
She's bigger than him.
maybe. No, she does not.
Okay.
Hey.
She clubs my head, and I'm why don't you do that in the match?
I always mess with her.
Well, that does it for this episode of the Alaskan Grappler podcast. I want to thank everybody who listened. I'd like to thank Buddy and Jeremy Bockert again for being on the show. I'd like to talk a quick second about the podcast in general. This is my 4th episode, 3 of which have been with someone with the last name of Bockert. That is not intentional. It's just, living in Fairbanks, it's easier to get in contact with and sit down with people that I know and that I'm closer with. So I do have plans to sit down and interview other people. I have actually a lot of people who've reached out and who want to be on the podcast, which is really cool. It's just a matter of being able to find time to sit down and talk with them or figure out a way to record audio over the phone, which I haven't really just gotten into yet since I'm still, kind of learning as I go. Some people that I know that are in the Fairbanks area who I'd like to talk to coming up soon, which they don't even know about, but I'd like to sit down with the head coach of West Valley, Kaylin Baxter, who is also a 3-time state champion. I'd like to talk to Jared Miller, who is going to the University of Alaska Fairbanks. He is a 4-time state champion from Dillingham and the first small school 4-timer to do it. So those are 2 guys that I'd like to sit down with, and I have a long list of other people I'd like to talk to as many people as possible. If you'd like to be on the podcast or know anyone who you think would be good to interview, please let me know, and I can try to do my best to sit down and find some time to talk to them. I'm always interested in talking wrestling and hearing stories and different philosophies on coaching and wrestling styles and mentality of what, and adversity that people have had to go through. So long story short, I hope to have a lot more coming once wrestling season starts for high school again. Since I coach at Lathrop, it'll be easier for me to maybe travel to some of these tournaments and sit down with some of the coaches and some of the other kids and whatnot. So once again, thank you for listening.